When disaster hits, this 50-cent item is going to save your life. Most people have no idea how powerful this is. But today, we're thinking outside the box. I'm showing you the 5 weirdest, simplest items you probably already have at home that become literal lifesavers in a disaster. You'll learn exactly what to buy, why they work, and how to use them to survive any crisis. Let's jump right in. Item number 1, the transparent Droploth. Most people walk right past this in the hardware store without a second thought. It's a standard, transparent plastic Droploth. It costs less than $5, weighs almost nothing, and is the ultimate cheap insurance for any emergency kit. But don't let the thin plastic fool you. In a survival situation, this humble sheet becomes a powerful multi-tool. It can pull drinking water out of thin air, keep you from freezing if the heat fails, and keep you bone dry in a storm. Let's start with the most critical survival need: finding water. The most direct use is simple: rainwater catchment. Because these sheets are large, often 9 by 12 feet, you can spread one out to create a massive surface area that funnels every drop of rain into your containers. But what if it isn't raining? That's where the transparency matters. You can use it as a transpiration bag. Wrap the plastic around a leafy tree branch and tie it tight. As the tree breathes, moisture collects on the plastic and pools at the bottom. You can even build a solar still by digging a hole in the damp earth, placing a cup in the center, and covering it with the cloth. The sun evaporates the moisture from the ground. It hits the plastic and drips right into your cup. It's passive. It works while you sleep. Beyond water, this plastic is your primary shield against the elements. For immediate protection, it's a perfect emergency shelter. Since it's transparent, you can build a small plow-point tent that traps solar heat like a greenhouse. If you're on the move and the skies open up, it's an improvised poncho. Just poke a hole for your head. It's not a fashion statement, but it keeps your core dry, which is the key to avoiding hypothermia. Finally, this sheet provides a high level of security for both your home and your gear. At home, this is your best friend for window repair. If a storm breaks your glass, this keeps the rain out while still letting light in so you aren't sitting in the dark. You can even use it as a hypothermia wrap. If someone is dangerously cold, wrap them in this under a blanket. It creates a vapor barrier that stops their body heat from escaping. Finally, use it to waterproof the inside of your bag. Line your backpack with it before you pack. Even if you fall in a river, your dry clothes and fire starter will stay protected. Item number 2 is a staple in almost every medicine cabinet: Vaseline. This stuff is a prepper's dream because it's cheap, waterproof, and literally never expires. It packs a massive amount of utility into one tiny, portable jar. You might use it for dry skin now, but in a disaster, Vaseline is a lifesaver. It can turn a tiny spark into a roaring fire during a rainstorm, protect your tools from rust, and even act as an emergency light source. Let's look at why this simple jelly is actually a survival powerhouse. The first way this jelly saves you is by providing fire and light when you're in the dark. The most famous use for preppers is fire starting. If you rub Vaseline into a cotton ball, it goes from a flash burner to a slow-burning torch that can last for several minutes. Plenty of time to light wet wood, but it doesn't stop there. In a pinch, you can create an emergency light source by sticking a piece of twine or a rolled up bit of cloth into the jar to act as a wick. The jelly acts as fuel, giving you a crude candle that burns for hours. Next, let's look at how this helps with your physical recovery and first aid. When you're on your feet all day, friction is your enemy. Vaseline provides blister and skin protection by creating a low-friction barrier on your heels or thighs to stop chafing before it starts. For wound care, it's a perfect sealant. If you have a small cut or scrape, a layer of Vaseline keeps the dirt and bacteria out while keeping the moisture in, which helps you heal faster when you're in a dirty environment. Finally, Vaseline is an essential tool for maintaining your gear and mechanical equipment. Beyond your body, Vaseline protects your gear. Use it for corrosion and rust prevention by rubbing a thin layer over your knife blades or carbon steel tools. It creates a waterproof seal that stops oxygen from eating the metal. Finally, it's a master at removing stuck objects. Whether it's a ring on a swollen finger or a rusted bolt or zipper that won't budge, the lubrication helps things slide free without causing more damage. Item number 3 is a roll of standard heavy-duty aluminum foil. You likely have this in your kitchen right now, but in a survival bag, it's a foldable sheet of metal. It's lightweight, heat-resistant, and costs almost nothing. If you think foil is just for leftovers, think again. This is a lifesaver for food, warmth, and even communication. I'm going to show you how a simple square of foil can cook your meals, multiply the heat of your fire, and even hack your electronics when you don't have the right parts. It's the ultimate survival multi-tool hiding in plain sight. Let's start with how this metal sheet can help you prepare food and water. First up, foil is your improvised cooking vessel. You can fold it into a bowl to boil water, or create a sealed pouch to cook directly in hot coals. But here is the real hack: solar cooking. By lining a cardboard box, or even a curved piece of bark with foil, you create a solar oven. It concentrates the sun's rays onto a central point, allowing you to pasteurize water or slow cook food without ever lighting a fire or giving away your position with smoke. Next, we can use the conductive properties of foil to keep your electronics running. This is where it gets really clever. Have you ever had a flashlight die only to realize you have the wrong size batteries? You can use a small crumpled ball of foil as a battery bridge. It conducts electricity perfectly, so you can fill the gap if your battery is too short to hit the contact. It also works as a basic Faraday cage. Wrapping your backup radio or GPS in several layers of foil can help protect the sensitive circuits from an EMP or solar flare. Finally, foil is an excellent tool for heat management and field maintenance. To stay warm, foil is a powerful heat reflector. Place a large sheet behind your candle or campfire. It bounces that radiant heat right back at you instead of letting it disappear into the night. For food, you can use small strips as fishing lures. The shine mimics a minnow to attract fish. If you're moving through thick brush, tie small bits of foil to branches as trail markers to find your way back at night. And if your gear is getting dull, you can even use it for sharpening scissors by folding a piece several times and cutting through it. Finally, it's perfect for dry tinder storage. Wrap your matches in a layer of foil to keep them 100% waterproof. Item number 4 might raise some eyebrows, but a non-lubricated condom is a survival masterpiece. Made of medical-grade latex, it is incredibly strong, elastic, and 100% watertight. It weighs less than a coin but outperforms gear 10 times its size. If you think this is just for its original purpose, you're missing out. This tiny packet can hold gallons of water, turn sunlight into a fire-starting laser, and protect your electronics from a total downpour. It's a pocket-sized membrane that can save your gear and your life when things go south. Let's start with how this latex shell handles the two most important survival needs: water and fire. First, let's talk about water storage. A standard condom can hold up to 2 liters of water. The trick is to place it inside a sock or a sleeve first to give it structure so it doesn't pop. It's the ultimate emergency canteen. But it can also create fire. By filling it with clear water and tying it off, you create a liquid fire starter lens. When you hold it up to the sun, it focuses the light into a high heat beam that can ignite dry tinder in seconds. Next, we can use it as a heavy-duty seal to protect your gear from the elements. When it comes to your gear, this is the ultimate seal. Use it for waterproofing electronics like a small GPS, radio, or matches. Just drop them in and tie a knot for a 100% dry seal even if you're submerged. If you're a hunter, it's a perfect rifle bore cover. Slide it over the end of your barrel to keep mud and snow out without affecting your shot. It's also great for tinder storage, keeping your lint or wood shavings bone dry until the moment you need them. Finally, the condom serves as an improvised tool for medical care and food procurement. In a medical pinch, it serves as an emergency glove or finger cot. If you have a bandage on your hand, sliding a condom over it keeps the wound clean and dry while you work in the mud. Finally, for the fisherman, you can blow a little air into one to create a high-visibility fishing bobber. It's sensitive enough to twitch the moment a fish hits your line, helping you secure a meal when calories are low. Item number 5 is one of the most underrated tools out there, a pair of simple pantyhose. Don't let the thin material fool you. The high-strength nylon and spandex create a unique, elastic mesh you won't find in any other gear. They weigh almost nothing and pack down to the size of a golf ball. If you think these are just for the fashion aisle, you're missing out. This one item can be the difference between drinking mud and drinking clean water. From medical emergencies to catching food, pantyhose are the Swiss Army knife of fabrics. Let's start with how this mesh can help you secure clean water and find a meal. First up, let's look at your water supply. Pantyhose make a perfect water pre-filter. Before you use your expensive filter or boil your water, pour it through the hose to strain out the dirt, silt, and bugs. This saves your gear from clogging and gives you a much cleaner starting point. When you're hungry, you can bend a flexible branch into a loop and stretch the hose over it to create an improvised fishing net. It's fine enough to catch minnows, baitfish, or even frogs in shallow water. Next, we can use the elastic strength of the fabric for medical and physical protection. On the medical side, the extreme stretch is a lifesaver. You can use it as an emergency bandage to hold gauze tight against a wound, or even an improvised sling to support a fractured arm. But my favorite use is blister prevention. If you wear a pair of pantyhose under your heavy wool socks, they act as a liner. The friction happens between the two layers of fabric instead of against your skin, stopping blisters before they ever start. Finally, the durability of the nylon makes it an excellent choice for managing your equipment. For your equipment, these are surprisingly strong. You can use sections of the hose for securing gear to the outside of your pack. The elasticity works like a heavy-duty bungee cord to keep things from rattling or falling off. Because they are so lightweight and breathable, they are the ultimate multi-purpose tie-down for any situation where you need strength without the bulk of heavy rope. If you found these hacks useful, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell right now. I'm always looking for ways to turn budget-friendly items into life-saving gear, and you don't want to miss our next deep dive. The takeaway here is simple. Survival doesn't always require a $1,000 gear list. Sometimes, it's about looking at the common items in your junk drawer or local hardware store and seeing the hidden potential. A $5 Droploth or a jar of Vaseline might not look like much today, but in the right hands, they are absolute game changers. Stay prepared, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next one.